Well, good morning, everybody. We're very pleased to have Anna Stevens here. Anna's story, if you don't know it, is a very unique story, especially in American history. As I think back, how many folks have actually immigrated here from Russia, had a lot of the issues in terms of the going from homelessness and some of the other plights that she's worked through, and she'll kind of weave those in her story. But even in addition to that, there was some domestic violence and some abuse there that she's had to overcome. And then you also have a language barrier where she taught herself English. When she landed on the shore, she didn't know any. She taught herself English in a year and a half. So that's pretty interesting in and of itself. To me, first of all, it's very impressive. But the second piece of it is, then she turns around and figures out a way to get into getting her master's degree from Georgia State. And so how do you do that as well? And then when I thought about who she was and her story, I also remember that she does a lot of quote unquote training. So when you sit down and you think about how's a person able to do that? How do you go from what seemingly is nothing to seemingly is pretty much on the verge of everything? If there isn't everything, then you got to know there's something in the middle of it. So in my mind, how is this person able to do that? How are you able to take this and mold it into that, take lemons and make it into lemonade? And the secret is really what you see behind me here today, SMART goals. Anna's story is, again, one that is rich in the history of American lore from my perspective. Because again, when you take nothing and then turn it into something that is huge and full of possibility, life opens up tremendously. And so we offer it to you today from the Kennesaw State University Executive MBA program's perspective so that it enriches your life as well. So without further ado, I want to make sure that we give her a nice warm welcome to Miss Anna Stevens.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alvin. Good morning, everybody. And I must admit that I really love Cole's College of Business events because they deliver great value for professionals. It's an opportunity to network, of course, and also to gain some knowledge. So I would like to know, what are your expectations today of this workshop? In other words, what is it that you would like to walk away with today? Motivation. Motivation, thank you. What else? Carol, right?
Yeah.
Why did you come here today? For what?
Get out of work.
Oh, okay.
No, just to refresh my memory on SMART goals.
Refresh your memory, so kind of reaffirm the knowledge you already have. Okay, so what is it that you would like to walk away with today, Katie?
I would like to get into work. Well, I think goal setting is something that I need to learn.
Okay, so you would like to obtain knowledge. Great, okay. So you guys came here for knowledge, for refreshing what you already know, for motivation. Why do you need all these things? What's the end result? What is it that you want eventually? Success, that's right. So all of us, the end result is that we want success, right? So what does success look like to you?
I set a lot of goals, actually. It's just achieving them, making the time to achieve all the goals that I want to. I haven't been very good at my timing, to accomplish everything that I want to.
Maybe sometimes you feel overwhelmed and not enough clarity, not enough time.
Absolutely.
Well, what does success look like? What is it that at the end, what's the end in mind? What is success to you?
Well, I'd love to be speaking publicly and educating people on how to the betterment of themselves.
Okay, wonderful. Getting your message out there in a bigger way. Okay. Well, Brian, you've been very quiet this morning. We're not going to allow it to continue, so why don't you tell me? Actually, guys, you can only learn if you engage. If you come here and I tell you my stuff, and I just inform you about something and you leave, you will have nothing out of it. So I don't want to waste your time. That's why I'm going to engage you. So why don't you tell me, Brian, what does success look like to you?
What success looks like to me is not only to be able to make a difference in this world, helping out people. For example, I coach a team here at the Executive MBA program.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I'm here for the SMART goals, to just hear what you have to say about them. But, it's about making a difference in other people's lives to me. And if I can actually make a difference in somebody else's life, it makes me happy.
Wonderful, I love it. It sounds like you have a very meaningful life. Well, since we now know what success looks like to you, why don't we discover what success looks like to Winnie the Pooh? Select a dream, use your dream to set a goal, create a plan, consider resources, enhance skills and abilities, spend time wisely, start, get organized, and go. Actually, I told Alvin that I saw this in my MBA book. I'm graduating from professional MBA at Georgia State University on May 11th. And this was in my book for my MBA. I've discovered that there are 3 pillars on which success is based. And they are education or information, motivation, and action taking. So my goal today is to provide you with education, information, motivation, and action taking. I'm going to supply you with knowledge on the topic of SMART goals. I'm also going to try to inspire you and motivate you through sharing of real life stories, and hopefully you will relate to them. And also my goal is to help you take actions right here today, so that when you leave, you will be already committed. Okay? Are you guys in?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. All right. So let's pull out our first template and we'll do individual exercise. You don't need to share it with anybody, and you don't need to talk about it. This is just for you personally. Pull out discover your 10-year plan template. So what I would like for you guys to do, I would like for you guys to take 5 minutes and work individually without consulting with anybody. And I would like for you to write down, fill out a template in a specified area, in a specified time frame. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Or what is it that you would like to make happen? We are really busy in our life, and we just go, and we need to do more, and more people need us, and they tell us what to do, and we're just so busy, and we don't have time to stop and reflect. Am I even where I want to be? Where am I going? What matters most to me, right? So when you actually take exercises like this, and when you're actually faced with questions such as this in this exercise, you're like, wow, I have no clue. I have no clue where I want to be in 6 months. I don't know about 3 years. I'm just trying to hang in there today, just survive today, right? Like I'm trying to survive this week because it's my final week, and I have 3 exams. But anyway,
I'll echo that too, because what we do here is, and we've got my favorite student right behind me, but what we do in the program is
Vanessa.
is we try to align what you want to do in your professional career, personal career, with the program. And when the program aligns with what you want to do, then this is a good fit. And I'll tell you the consequence of not doing that, I've learned it over the years, and we don't do that anymore. The consequence of that is that you'll overspend dramatically and waste a lot of time trying to say, okay, well, it doesn't really matter. I just want to get an MBA. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not what you want to do. I promise you, that's not what you want to do. But help me understand what you want to do in 3 to 5 years and what you want to do in 7 to 10 years. And when people get hung up on that, I pretty much say, let's revisit this in another 6 to 8 months. Let's get you back in. So what Anna's talking about is incredibly important, because not only does it cost you time, but it can cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully after this exercise, you prepared some platform for thinking about setting your own SMART goals. Well, SMART stands for specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. So let's go over each of this and let's see how it actually fits into what we're going to do today. Specific, when we go through specific, we have to approach it from a position of it's what, why, and how. And the what is your head. It outlines exactly what you need to do. And I see that you guys are taking notes, which are going to be very useful for you, I promise. When you go back to it in a week, you will be like, oh, I have another aha moment. So the what is your head, and it identifies what it is exactly that you need to do. The why is your soul. It specifies why you should accomplish this goal. It gives meaning to your goal. It outlines the benefits of achieving the goal. The how is your hands. And that is the strategies and the tools that you will utilize in order to achieve your goal. So remember, the what, the why, and the how is applicable to specific. Now we will talk about measurable. Measurable answers the questions how much, how many, or how will I know when I progress. That is a tangible evidence by which you will measure your progress. So measurable will serve that purpose. It's a tangible evidence. Remember, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? Action-oriented. Every time you set a goal, it has to start with a verb, with an action-oriented verb that will specify exactly what it is that you need to do to achieve your goal. Always starts with a verb. Realistic. When you set your goal, you gotta make a reality check, because sometimes we may think it's possible, but it actually is impossible. Under maybe our current circumstances or conditions, there are many reasons why something may be unrealistic to us. So we gotta make a reality check. And time bound. Of course, you must set a deadline for your goal, some kind of time frame. Because if you don't, you will get lost, it will take you forever, maybe you will even lose your focus, and you will just get discouraged. And again, you don't have to always meet your deadline, but by a specific deadline you can look back and say, how much more do I have to go, and where am I standing, you know, and of course you can adjust your deadline and your time frame accordingly to your progress, but still you have to have that deadline in mind. Let's have an example. Since we are people from a business community, let's imagine, suppose that you are a manager or a business owner of a company that is trying to go green, trying to be socially responsible, more sustainable, okay? You want to do this exercise? Okay. So you're a business owner, and now we will be setting goals. Let's say we will start with the what. Of course, we always start with the what, right? Your head. It identifies what it is that you need to do. What can be some of the examples of the what of a company that is trying to go green? Give me some examples. Recycling. Okay, what else?
Understanding what are the resources that you use and how you use them.
Understanding how you actually utilize the resources. Great. Okay.
If I owned a company that I wanted it to be more green, I need to identify what are those things we could do as a company that would help us to get to that point.
The opportunities assessment.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
thank you. Okay, well, here are some examples. Purchase trash cans for recycling at home or office. Start turning the lights off in a room when you leave. Collect cell phones for recycling, right? Carpool to reduce the pollution, right? These are all great examples. Recycling clothing by donating it to those in need. And there is one company that's doing it right now, Salesforce.com. They collect clothes anytime they have a speaking engagement, and then they donate it to a non-profit organization. And it's a company, right? It's a business, but they're making a difference, just like you said. They gain more meaning by doing so. Use an AC less, and take shorter showers to save water, and the list can go on and on and on. So what can be the why for a company that is trying to be more socially responsible? What's the soul of it? What are the benefits? What's the purpose?
Advertising, why?
Oh, for advertising,
We're a green company, so
for
do
promotion.
business with us.
It's fair, okay. To attract high potential talent, investors, definitely to differentiate yourself from the competitors, great. What can be some other whys of becoming green for businesses?
It actually help you make more money because you're reducing the waste.
Wonderful, what else? Does any of you have their own separate planet?
Do you
Planet.
have
Yeah.
your own separate planet?
Saving the planet.
Because if you guys live with me as my neighbor on this very earth, we gotta save it, is that right? So the why for business can be saving the planet, creating competitive advantage, just like you said, reducing waste, just like you said, right? Helping the community, saving money, increasing awareness of sustainable initiatives. You named it all. Just don't forget that you're my neighbor and we live in the same planet. None of us has their own separate planet or a new one where you can move if something happens to this one. Is that correct? That's why we're interested in becoming more sustainable. So now when we talked about the what and the why, here's the how, and that's your hands. What does it mean? The tools and the strategies you will use to become green, right? And here's an example. Attend a workshop. So with setting a SMART goal, remember you are the owner of the business that is trying to become more sustainable, and we're trying to set a SMART goal, and we start with the why, the what, the why, and the how. So an example can be attend a workshop on sustainability on April 15th of 2013 to learn how to become green and sustainable, to protect the planet and save resources for future generations. When you look at this goal, you're like, okay, how do I figure out which part is what, right? So attend a workshop on sustainability. What is it? Is it the what, the why, or the how?
It is the what.
It is the what. Why?
Because it says so.
Because it says so.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm maybe trying to confuse you, right?
No, because
Specific, so you're going to attend a workshop.
It specifies exactly what you need to do.
It's the
That's right.
action. It's the action.
Good, 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 good. That's good. It starts with a verb. Good job. To protect the planet and save resources. What is that?
Well, according to what you said, it's the why.
It's the why. But why? I'm maybe trying to confuse you.
Well, it's the why because it's the reason.
It's the reason, the purpose.
So if there's no reason or purpose, then we won't do it.
Good.
Because there's no background, there's no depth to it.
Good, good, good. No meaning, right? Everybody is correct. To learn how to become green and sustainable. That's the how. Is that a strategy? How you're going to actually do it? You will learn, right? You always start with learning. So now you kind of get the idea what it means, the what, the why, and the how to actually set the goal that contains these three parts. So now we will talk about measurable. So what can be some examples? Maybe some of yours. What can be some examples of measurable evidence for this green business that you're an owner of to become sustainable?
So if you go back to the goal you had, the goal you had before, it should be one goal. So to attend this workshop by April, whatever, to do this and that, that's your specific. So you're adding measure to that goal. So it's not like you're creating something else just to add measure. So if you're adding measure to that one, it will be attend the workshop to learn this, that, and save future generations. And the measure being come out of the workshop with at least one idea to implement.
Exactly. Excellent.
Kind of like yours.
Yeah.
But I would add that I want to get 6 or 7 ideas, one of which I'm going to work on. Okay.
Okay. Well, great. Okay.
Anna,
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, when you talk green, like, if we had like a specific idea of like send out less paper bills and do everything by email, then you can measure that by, okay, you knew what your paper costs were before that, and then when you start marketing, sending out email billing, how much paper you're saving, and then you could start seeing a monthly difference in how much paper you're buying.
Wonderful. So you will compare it and you will say save that much by reducing the paper waste. That's great. Okay, well, thank you so much. So we'll talk about the realistic part of it. What can prevent your company that is trying to become green from actually becoming more socially responsible? What can make it an unrealistic goal to become socially responsible?
We're going to save 5,000 tons of garbage tomorrow.
Good job. Very good job. Perfect. What else?
It costs more to become green than to stay status quo. Yeah.
Okay.
Or to do it right.
Okay. So there may be financial barriers. Yeah, definitely. Time barriers. So you need to ask yourself, is it possible for anyone to accomplish this goal under similar circumstances? Unless you're some kind of Superman and you have 1,000 fairies around you, it is not, right? The goal that you just named. Is it probable for me to accomplish this goal under these particular circumstances? Unless you are a fairy or a Superman, then no, it's probably not with your example. Will accomplishing this goal challenge me without defeating? Because sometimes we set goals that are very challenging. And they just like Alvin said, they just push us down instead of helping us rise up, right?
One of the things I think I noticed on that too, and you kind of helped me on this, with regard to setting goals, everything on there says me, me, me. So it's all individual. It's not like I'm setting a goal and then delegating pieces of it out, right?
Well, when you think, you can think in terms of your corporation, your business, definitely. When I talk about my business, I would say I. So it can definitely be your team, us. Yeah. This is just a general example of how you can ask questions. Is it possible for us, for our team, to accomplish it under our particular circumstances? Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Well, this could also generate a second goal, particularly in our environment. Regulatory issues seem to be
right in the heart of the problem. Exactly. You may want to do something, but really it's impossible, it's unrealistic, not because you're not a Superman, but because of the regulatory issues. And we need to keep it in mind. Thank you so much. That's a great example.
So that would be another goal, to try to get those issues changed. Of course, that.
But Gerald, if you go back one slide, Anna.
Yes.
And so, actually, go forward. Yeah, right there. It's either in the possible or probable.
Mm-hmm.
That would be listed. And then, to your point, you would perhaps say, is it worth doing? If it is, then I'll make a goal to get it done.
We just have a great audience here today. We're going to brainstorm together, and we're going to come out of this workshop today with some kind of proposal for new bills, I would say.
President.
I love it. Yeah, let's rock, guys. Let's rock. So let's move forward. Time bound requires a time frame. A goal is a dream with a deadline. Do you agree with that? Because if you don't have a deadline, what is it going to be?
A wish.
A wish, a dream, forever. So let's do the group exercise. Here you go. Which goal is smart? And I think that maybe, Jessica, do you think that you can work with maybe Alvin? Alvin, would you work with Jessica? And then we will have, can you guys work together? Katie, would you be willing to work together? So you guys gonna have a group of 2. Why don't you take maybe 5 minutes, take a look at these goals, read over, and think together why some of them are smart and why some of them are not smart. And again, what does smart mean?
Specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound.
Great job. So then we're going to have a few groups of 2s, and you guys work together, and then we will have a discussion. Okay, guys, let's talk about your conclusions. And I see that, Katie, you're still working. Or are you guys done? Sarah, you done?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, why don't we discuss which one of these goals is smart and which one is not? Who would like to start? Who would like to read the first goal, and we'll discuss whether or not it's smart? Okay, let's go ahead, Vanessa.
Start promoting our business on social media on June 1st, 2013 via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube to post 3 status updates a day with links to our blog and events to raise awareness of our new brand and services.
All right, so what do you say? Is it a smart goal?
Yes.
Why?
Specific, start promoting and how you're going to promote it.
Can you speak up just a little bit, please?
It was specific.
Mhm.
You're going to start promoting. It says where you're going to promote and how you're going to promote it by
Mhm.
posting the status updates of the blogs and events.
Mhm.
It's measurable.
Gives you a
Because-
date of when you're starting.
Yeah, and it gives you a quantity of the 3 status.
Okay.
What's the other action oriented? The action is, post. Promoting. R is. What's the R?
It's realistic.
Realistic?
I think realistic is checking that if you can meet the 3 posts per day, which seems realistic to me.
Okay. So you say that this goal is smart. Does anybody disagree? Why?
It doesn't have an ending point. It doesn't say when you need to accomplish it. But
Okay, it doesn't say by when you need to accomplish it. Okay. Anybody else? All right. So this goal is most definitely a smart goal. And thank you so much, Jessica, for bringing this up. The verb here, remember we talked about that a goal, smart goal, always starts with a verb. What is the verb that it starts with today? Start. Start. So when we think of social media, does it actually have an ending point? Of course, Jessica is a social media expert. Would you say,
torn on this one.
yeah, would you say that you're only going to do it until December 31st, 2013, and then you will never do it again?
Well, know that you would have a goal in mind, that you would have maybe this many followers or this much engagement.
Oh, these are details. Oh, these are more specific details of your goal. So this goal is smart because it has a verb and it's time bound. It tells you when you will start it. Let's say when you talk about a weight loss and you go on a specific diet, you will be on a diet for like a month or 2, maybe a year, right? But when you talk about something like eating healthy, start eating healthy, does it have an ending point? When you die, yeah, and unless you will say that, you're actually going to do it throughout the life of your business.
Jessica, what you could have, just to make the goal more bounding to you, is probably have do this and have a checkpoint by.
These are milestones, yeah. And we will talk about it when we have a template. These are all the details. But just overall, what you need to remember is that it has to have a verb. It has to be time bound. You say when it's going to start, right? Because your goal is to start.
You don't have to have an ending.
You don't have to have an ending. And you will use your common sense to assess it. Like again, when we say eating healthy, doing social media, growing my brand, will this have an ending point? You don't know how long your business is going to be a business, right? So it's going to be an ongoing process. Yes?
I'm going to suggest that this is a SMART goal. I mean,
Okay, thank you, Brian.
but the suggestion that I want to make is that the SMART goal doesn't mean it is the goal. It could be part of a larger goal.
Absolutely.
So in other words, maybe in this case, this is one of several SMART goals.
You're absolutely correct.
To achieve what the result of promoting your business would be. What do you see? That doesn't say that here, but that's because that's the bigger goal. This is probably a more specific part of that bigger goal.
This is a very good point that Brian is bringing up, because usually when you set SMART goals, they are a part of your overall business strategy. They definitely need to be relevant to what it is that you're trying to accomplish in general in your business, or in your health, or in your finances, or in your relationships. Start dating the guy next door can be a part of a SMART goal as well, because you don't really know where your relationship is going to go with the guy next door, right? So you can't really say date him for a couple of weeks and then dump him, right?
But the goal in mind could be
get married and have a family.
that could be the overall goal.
Yes.
Smart goal, but I don't know how smart that is.
Oh, guys, we're having fun. This is awesome.
But to be honest with you, when we first talked, originally we said it was a SMART goal.
Yes.
And then we overthought it.
Oh, many people get confused just because the goal has to be specific, but there are goals that are ongoing and they don't really have an ending point unless you die. Like, of course, like Gerald said, right? Eat healthy until the day you die. So let me just summarize about this goal. The SMART goal always starts with what? What?
A verb.
A verb, action-oriented verb. So why don't we take a few minutes? Maybe again you can work in two groups of two and brainstorm several action-oriented verbs that you and I and all of us can use in our daily or monthly or bi-yearly or yearly setting of SMART goals. All right, I guess now we have hundreds and hundreds of action-oriented verbs for our SMART goals, right? Why don't we start sharing? Yeah, let's do it. What are some of the verbs?
Creating.
Creating. Is it action-oriented? Creating.
Yeah, like creating goals. Create your goal.
Create is action-oriented.
Oh, we were accidentally.
To do what? To do what? Okay, so create. Okay, good.
Well, actually, I had put I am in front of all these, but then that I decided that didn't work for me, so then.
Okay, how are you gonna set a goal is always going to be to do something. To do something. So to create. Good.
Okay.
What's next?
All of our ings got.
Go. Yeah, go. That's continuing.
Yeah.
We don't want to continue. We need to be specific. Starting when, you know, and if you start with without ending it, if you want to do something for lifestyle, save money. You know, every month, 10% of my income donate to Bucket Church, let's say, that's for a lifetime. You still want to say to start. So you're not going to starting, I want to be starting. No, you tell me exactly when you're going to start it, on which day, what time, right? So to create, good.
And then develop.
To develop,
And doesn't the ing, if you put the ing on the back, doesn't that assume that you've already begun and you've skipped that first step? Is that what you're saying? So in other words, when you say creating, that means you've skipped the first step of to create, and now you're in the process of creating.
you would say to continue
See, so
doing something.
that's the second.
To continue
the ING.
donating 10% of my
That's how
income.
you see it too, though. So like once we start this process, I can get excited because I am creating goals. You know, I'm here networking because network was one of mine. It was like I'm networking so that I can, you know, get that position that I'm looking for. Things like
But
that.
again,
So-
that's the second piece.
but it's an attitude though. But it's still an
Yeah.
attitude though.
Let's say this. Let's say this. Have we already started this discussion that we are having now, right?
Have it.
So can I say continuing discussion? No, to continue talking about SMART goals. That's the goal. To continue talking about SMART goals until 11 a.m. this day, this time, with this many people at this location. So when you think about an action-oriented verb, you're gonna always say to do something, and it may be to continue, to progress in doing something. So what are some other action-oriented verbs? I know you guys have tons of them because I heard you.
I don't want to say tons, but how about launch?
To launch, what else?
Brainstorm.
To brainstorm, to launch,
To create,
to create,
To create and develop too.
to
Yeah,
develop,
right.
good. Anything else?
earn.
To earn, wonderful. $1 million by promoting
that's why
Tony
we're
Robbins
excited,
and Brandon Burchard. All right, what else?
To implement,
To implement, great.
to manage,
To manage,
to identify,
to identify, wonderful.
prepare,
To prepare,
to lead,
To lead.
contribute, to support.
Wonderful. Okay, here's some. Here's a list of some of the verbs that I usually use, and I just wrote them just because it's thousands of them that you can use. To learn, explore, enroll, become, discover, to buy, to receive, to earn, to find, to obtain, to start, to finish, to accomplish, to accumulate, to promote, to advertise, to create, to achieve, right? To author a book or an ebook, to award I'm going to have a couple of prizes for you. So I will award a prize to one of you today, to two of you. To begin, to contract, to produce, to catalog, to draft, to document, to finalize, many verbs, right? But now you kind of get an idea, because you know we're moving toward you setting your very own SMART goals. So now you have an idea what it is, an action-oriented verb. And then we will do an individual exercise. So I would like for you guys to take your template that says I'm thankful for, and I would like for you to write down a few things that you're grateful for, maybe in life in general, or maybe just today. Maybe with these questions and exercises we went through, maybe you had some aha moments, and maybe you discovered that you're blessed with something, or if you don't believe in God, maybe you just have a special gift. So what are the things that you're grateful for? Why don't you write them down? And I would love for you to share, but if you don't want to share, that's okay. So we'll see how you feel after that. First of all, how do you guys feel after this exercise? How does it feel to actually do it?
Light.
What?
Light.
Light.
That's the word.
Tell me more about that.
Just light.
Like you were describing, for instance, yourself, like somebody calling, somebody, I'm coming, that feels very heavy, very,
Okay.
so, yeah, like draggy to a certain extent. That feels like.
So you feel relieved now? Relieved from daily weight put on you. Wow, I love it. Okay. Who else wants to share? How does it feel to actually do this exercise?
As I said to you during the break, I do this pretty much every day. It puts things in perspective. And one example I'd like to share is that I am thankful that I have my health. I don't have to take any pills. I have no allergies.
I love it.
And to use a real-world example, when you come here on a class weekend, you'll find that parking lot is packed filled with cars because of the
Thankful for being able to park your car. I love it.
No.
No? Okay.
The parking lot is filled with cars, and there's 2 spots outside which are for handicapped people, for disabled
I
people.
see where you're going.
And sometimes people will take one of those spots, and they'll, even though they're not. I'm thankful that I can park way out in wherever it is and be able to walk to where I need to go.
I love it. You want to share something with us?
I'm just thankful to be alive.
Thankful to be alive. Okay. Jessica.
I'm thankful for my entrepreneurial spirit. Keeps me going.
I'm thankful for it too, by the way. Jessica and I are getting ready to work together. Wonderful. Well, I don't know if you want to share or not. Okay, I don't want to push you.
For my husband, I don't have children of my own, but he has 2 kids from a previous marriage, and we have 2 wonderful grandkids. So
Kind of like my situation. Okay. Well, what about you guys?
I'm thankful for many things. I'm just going to choose cell phones.
Okay, why don't you tell me more about it? No, that's interesting.
Easier.
Okay.
Be able to reach someone, and also to not have to go around and look
In seconds, just like that.
for however much they cost. They don't even have them anymore.
Wow.
Cell phones, and especially smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
I actually filled in all of them, but I am most thankful for my faith and my children because they're what's giving me the motivation
I love
to
it.
be the best woman I can be. I wouldn't be here at a seminar. I wouldn't be trying to network. I wouldn't be trying to improve myself, without those 2 things.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Alvin, you want to share?
I put it in the form of a small, short poem.
Ooh! Wow! Wow!
Achiever.
Can I get an A?
Well, you know what? No. Hold on 1 sec. Why don't you do it in the mic, because I don't want to miss it. Okay?
Wow.
So
Well, y'all making me feel like a rock star. I'm happy for the air I breathe. I'm happy for the life I lead. I'm happy for the strength to move. I'm happy for the rhythm to groove. I'm happy for the freedom to choose and the ability to help people move.
Wow! Wow! Wow, how awesome is that? I love it. Now, is that a special gift you have?
I'm sorry?
Is that a special gift you have to write poems just like that?
For some reason it just pops.
Wow. All right. And thank you for sharing, by the way. And here's another quote I wanted to share with you. Let today be the day you stop having conflict between your actions and your goals, and finally align your purposeful actions. Align your greatest intent with your purposeful actions, creating a universal symphony, serenading your success. Well, now is the time. You guys are now ready to set your very own SMART goals: specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. 2 things you're gonna need for this, and that is going to be your SMART goals template. You have the one that looks like this, I assume. And also you will need this list of questions. Do you have this template? You have that template. That's good. You're good. You're good. Your template? Yeah, your template is fine. And you also have a list of these questions that you can refer to. But when you start working on your SMART goal, I'm going to be working around and I'm going to kind of point out some of these questions to you. But also, if you would like to read them on your own, you can. So you have them. So your template and a list of questions you're going to need right now. Let's try to set your very own. Let's go for 1. Please don't go like sometimes I have people, I already set 5 and there is no clarity or focus. Let's just go for 1. This goal can be related to your business, to your profession, to your career. You may set a health goal or relationship goal, entrepreneurial goal, whichever area you choose. You just go with it, okay? Now, if you have some questions for me, you please ask me. If you would like to share some of the challenges, you can. You don't have to share any information after this exercise. I'm not going to ask you. This is your private time with yourself. Please go back to your 10-year plan template that we filled out in the beginning of this workshop and see how what you wrote on that template will be relevant to your SMART goal that you're setting. Because when you set your 10-year plan, you kind of already went through a little bit of a self-discovery process. So you should be in a good point now when you're ready to set that one goal that you want to do right now, okay? What are the challenges of setting specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound goals? Was it easy for you guys? Wasn't easy. Why don't you share with us, Jessica? Was it easy, wasn't it easy, and why not?
I think it's because I have so many different things that I'm working on, but several things are commission-based, so I want to build up my commission-based business, but that's kind of broad because I work in so many different aspects. I do consulting and I do various things. So I don't know if I'm being specific enough.
So the challenge is that when you set your goal, you're really unsure whether or not you're specific enough. Okay. Any other challenges?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to write goals about money, about monetary gain, because I'm a woman, I think is part of the problem. Because we have a harder time with finances, like in general, I think, and discussing them and asking for them, if that makes sense.
Okay. So is it that you don't know how much money you want to ask for, or is it something else?
Well, it's because it's a commission based. Like, I don't know how to put into words exactly how that gain will be, like how that'll relate.
I see what you're saying. Okay. You don't know how, so you can't express very well. Okay. Good. Yeah.
I think with my goal is like I said it for me, but other people could influence what I do. Like it could impact either negative or positive. So getting their support too. It's like, it's not just about me. You have family at home, other outside influences that could impact.
One of the questions.
When you reach it. And keeping
One of the
on track.
questions on this cheat sheet for setting your goals that I gave you, a list of meaningful questions. One of the questions, have you read these questions?
Yes.
Have you seen the one that is very relevant to what you just said? It's the second one from the bottom, and it says, to what extent can I influence the process of achieving my goal? Can this very thing make your goal unrealistic? Yeah, because you depend on other people, right? Wonderful. Okay, so you don't really know if it's possible because it depends. Is that right? Or how would you put it?
Possible, it's just that I'm going to have to be very dedicated and disciplined to not let the outside or other influences impact.
So would you say that the challenge of setting a SMART goal may be a potential distraction that will prevent you from being accountable and committed? Okay, thank you. Do you guys want to share any challenges?
I don't.
Okay, you don't have to.
Setting them seemed easy to me, but then I like taking information and dissecting it and putting it together and things like that. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be challenges to the goals themselves.
Implementing them, okay.
So, correct, because some of my goals have to do with finances on a particular goal or whatever. And then one of my other goals too is what I feel might be like a lack of experience.
Lack of experience, okay.
Or knowledge of that field. If you want to get into a field, you have to, know certain things, because yes, you sell yourself to get the job, but at the same time, so there could be lack of knowledge of what I'm getting into that would help me position myself better to get into that field. So not just finances, but on one goal, but another goal.
Thank you. I've discovered the 6 challenges. Lack of motivation. Yeah, kinda. I mean, if it wasn't that difficult, right? I don't know what I want. I'm not sure. What if I go for this, but then I will change my mind? Maybe I want it, yeah, I'm not sure if I will want it in 3 weeks. You know how it is. All right, I don't know what I want. Fear of failure. Who can relate to that? Yes.
I think you have to go back to being thankful and looking at things in perspective.
Great.
Because how many people actually can say, I wrote a book?
Oh, these are the things that I deal with on a daily basis with my own self as well. Please don't think that I'm separating myself from you or from my clients. It's just, I don't say, yeah, well, maybe I'll think about it tomorrow, how to overcome it. No, I do it right now.
But what I'm trying to say is that one way to kind of alleviate that fear of failure is to have a mindset of just going and trying.
I love it.
And if you fail, it's better than if you had never.
At least you tried, right? Instead of saying, well, if I could, if I should, if I would, one day, right? Good, that's great. So another one is, I don't know what I don't know. Self-doubt. No, not me. I'm not good enough for that. I don't know if people will read my book. Everybody said already about it. Everybody knows this stuff, right? I have a friend right now who's like, yeah, I was kind of thinking starting a blog 4 years ago, but everybody knows everything I know. If I know it, everybody knows it. Is that true? No, it's not. Imagine if everybody thought that, right? If Brian Tracy thought that. Imagine if, Brandon Burchard, who is making significant impact on entrepreneurial world on us, if he thought that, yeah, everybody knows everything about entrepreneurship or social media. There is nothing else to say. So self-doubt and lack of commitment. So I would like to ask you one question. What if, or imagine for just 1 second, we talked about being able to walk, park your car far away and walk. Imagine yourself for 1 second, if you were having no legs and no arms, would you be able to be successful in life? You still would be?
Well, look at Stephen Hawking.
Okay. Would you guys be able to succeed in life with no legs and no arms whatsoever?
I think it's possible. Whether I would be able to do it, I don't know.
Because of
I think it
motivation.
yeah, it takes an inner strength.
A lot of motivation.
Not sure everybody has it.
Well, let's check this out.
The birth of a son with no arms or legs was a challenge they didn't want. I really couldn't. I thought it was a bad dream. I thought I'd just wake up any minute and it's all over. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to take him home. And I didn't think I'd be up to looking after him.
Certainly with time, you grow to accept him, to love him for what he is, the way he is.
Providing Nicholas with everything he needs is a constant struggle. A battle to find or design suitable equipment, a battle to find the money to pay for it all.
There wasn't really much of places or people that you can turn to help you.
So everything that we did was trial and error. We just had to take things one day at a time and just work through things, just me and him. Even the doctors couldn't help me much in that regard.
I'm setting up my pocket money for a computer at home.
He can't move as fast as he'd like, but Nicholas Wojcik is a whiz at computer games. This I realised only too well when the 7-year-old Dynamo thrashed me in the first round.
What do you guys say? Do you know Nick Vujicic? Do you know Nick Vujicic? If I ask you, what do you guys think? Is he going to be successful? What do you think his life is going to be like when he grows up?
Impossible.
Impossible, right?
Impossible.
It's impossible. It's very unrealistic that he will be successful. Do you think he will ever be a father? A dad of a baby? What do you think? Yes? Would he be able to actually find a wife?
Yes.
Why?
Because he has love in his heart.
Love in his heart. Okay. What else do you think he has? What else do you think he has?
Determination.
Determination. Motivation.
Persistence.
Yeah, I'm a swimmer. What? You? Yeah. I'm also a skateboarder. Do you think he can play golf? Is it possible?
If I can play, anybody can play.
Well, I'm not gonna ask you more questions. Here you go.
Every now and again in this job, you meet someone who quite simply makes your spirit soar. That's how I felt when I first met Nick Vujicic. Nick was born in Australia without any arms or legs, yet he lives a life that's more joyful and more fulfilling than most able-bodied people I know. All that was missing from his world was a special lady. Well, 4 years on, Nick is now a married man. Recently, he invited me back to Los Angeles to meet the woman who's made his life complete.
Have you ever done a backflip before?
No.
No?
Never in my life.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous, guys. Always. Backflips are scary.
Unique is the only word to describe Nick Vujicic and his head-over-heels approach to life. Nick was born without arms and legs, and growing up, feared he would have to swim through life alone.
I definitely had doubts that I'd ever get married, that I'd ever meet anybody who would ever love me and spend the rest of their life with me, because I'm Prince Charming with a couple bits and pieces missing. You know, those things were important, you know, and I'd see everybody else has them, so why could I ever compete with all the other guys and ever, you know, find my princess?
Now at 29, Nick's not only found his princess, he's married her, and her name is Kennesaw.
I feel like a CEO.
What in the world?
When I first met Nick in 2008, he was very much a single man, with his signature generosity of spirit and good humour.
No arms, no legs, no worries, mate.
Then
When we speak about motivation and being able to become a father, this is the answer. So when you feel lack of motivation, think about Nick Wojcik and his little baby that was just born, as was announced on Facebook last month. So congratulations to Nick. Okay, we talked about that sometimes you don't know what you want, right? So why don't we do another very short individual exercise? Why don't you write a letter? This exercise is one of the exercises from my book, from the chapter How to Figure Out What You Really Want in Life. This exercise is called the Young You exercise, where I ask you to please write a letter to your much younger self, where you were very inspired, aspired, motivated, and wanted many things.
Yeah, that's definitely more than a 5-minute exercise.
Well, I see that most of you are ready. You don't have to share anything with me except for just one thing. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Do you want to share?
Sure. It feels good to look back and see how motivated you were. Like I'm just reminiscing back to how it was when I first started with the company that I work with today, and I've been with the company 25 years. So I was just reflecting back on where I came, like how I started and how I got to where I am today. And it's just motivating. And
How does it feel to that young lady 25 years ago? How does she feel now, reading this letter?
I would think motivating, inspiring, don't give up.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Is there anybody else who would like to share about this exercise?
Mine's actually kind of like flip-flopped.
Okay.
Because I could just already tell where I was going, and so mine has more, like kind of like some more regret, some more wishes that I could have done different. Now my motivation is actually stronger. When I was young and like, you know, running away from the abuse, it was kind of like I didn't have a goal. So when you aim at nothing, you get nothing. So we all know that statement. And of course, if you set sail with no destination, you're not going to get anywhere. So running from that, trying to find who I am. And so now I have more motivation, more inspiration to, okay, you need to be focused, get your goals.
Thank you so much for sharing
so
this.
It's kind of like an opposite feeling. So I can see, you know, there's a broad spectrum of purpose and things like that. So now
It always feels different to different people. That's why I say, if you don't want to share, just let me know and we'll move forward, because I never can push you to share something like that. Can you guys tell me, was this exercise useful for you?
Yes.
Was it useful? Why? What's the use of this exercise?
Clarification.
Clarification. Another challenge that we discussed today in goal setting, smart goal setting, is fear and self-doubt, these two challenges. So when you experience fear or self-doubt, especially fear, when your fears prevent you from or stop you from moving forward in your life, career, relationships, money situation, I suggest that you take these steps. First of all, you become aware of your fears and doubts. Once you acknowledge them and express them, word them, write them down, then you can start working on creating some solutions for these doubts and fears, right? Unless you realize what they are, there is nothing you can do. Write down the negative impact these fears create. Discover the voices in your head. What kind of voices am I talking about? Am I crazy?
No.
What are the voices that I'm talking about?
Voices of fear and self-doubt.
Voices of fear and self-doubt. What is it called?
Self-talk.
Self-talk. Do you guys talk to yourself? Everybody talks to themselves all day long. Write down those negative messages. And all this is in my book. I'm just describing exactly how I do it, and because is the most important part. You must believe in what you tell yourself. Have you ever achieved anything? That's how you persuade yourself. Fill your mind with positive, educational information on the topic of your fear. Okay? Repeat positive affirmations. Repeat them to the self constantly, constantly. We are what we think. We are shaped with our thoughts, right? And if you constantly just realize, okay, I'm thinking negatively again, replace it immediately. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You will change. Your habit of self-talk will change from negative to positive. I promise you this because I practiced it. If you say this repeatedly to yourself when you're in doubt, I promise this will change your state of mind and you will feel more confident. Your face will immediately change. I promise you, I've done it, and I'll show you how I deal with my fears.
If I did it, you can do it, right? That's the mindset, right? So what about that? I'm the mentor, right?
You will be my accountability partner.
Okay, I'm the accountability partner right now. And I'm giving you the method right now, okay? Okay, first thing first, we're going to stop and say,
I'm unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable. You're going to lick your lips. Hand goes back. Open up. I'm going to light it. It'll go in. It'll come out. And we're going to say what?
Thank God.
Here we go. Get a clap. Get a clap. Come on, here we go. I'm serious. Let me know when you're ready to go. Hand go back. Open up. Open up. Close it. Close it. Nice work.
Can you guys share with me now, when I showed you this, can you share with me some of your experiences where you overcame your fears just like that? So, do you guys want to share anything? Yeah.
I woke up one morning and decided to go skydiving.
I love it. And what?
And I did.
Cool. Was it like, no, I can't do it. I'll die. I'll hurt myself. I'll break my leg. Then I will be handicapped parking at the Kennesaw State University parking spot.
Truthfully, it was like that during the training, but by the time the training was done, I was so tired, I said, just get it over with.
How did it feel afterwards?
Once the parachute opened, I felt like I was at peace with the world.
I'm unstoppable. I'm awesome. Yes, I can do it. Yes. You guys want to share? Any experiences like that? Yeah.
It's more of a life experience. I worked at the same place for 17 years, and then I decided that I was done quite abruptly, without a plan. I knew I wanted to do something different, something for myself, and I put in my notice, and it was horrifying. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do exactly. I knew that I wanted to start a business, and I started my event planning company, and the first job I got as J Park Events was catering an afternoon tea for the Dalai Lama. That was
wow.
The first job I got. Once I took that leap of faith,
wow,
it all opened up. Like opportunity.
That is your entrepreneurial spirit. Congratulations yes. on that. See, when you take that step, there will be a reward for that. Just remember, let's keep going. We said that sometimes we are unsure if we'll be able to commit and stay accountable. So let's define what the difference is between accountability and commitment. Accountability is your ability to accept responsibility, to be counted upon. Commitment is what transforms promise into reality. It is the likelihood of your taking actions that you promise to take. The accountability partner will provide attention. Did you do what you said you wanted to do? How is that goal that you set January 1st, right? Attention, now you made a public commitment. Now I'm gonna check on you, right? Motivation. Hey, Jessica, of course you can do it. Look at this, millions of people live in Atlanta, plan events every year, right? Motivation. What else? Information. Hey, I'm not exactly sure what it is that I don't know. I want to do it, but maybe there is something that I'm not qualified. I need more information. I don't know what I don't know, right? Accountability partner. Yeah, I can help you with that. I'm in that field. Absolutely. Let's meet for coffee. Ideation. Brainstorming. Running out of ideas. I don't know. Maybe this. I don't have any other ideas. Let's brainstorm together. My experience plus your experience, and we're gonna be a great team, right? Ideation in any topic, in any area of your life or professional career or business. And what else? Inspiration. When you actually achieve your goal, who is the best person to tell about it? And your accountability partner. Man, we've done it together. Yeah, we've done it. Let's share this happiness. I promised you that there will be 2 gifts, and I know I told Alvin that there will be a book, but the books have not arrived. The delays until tomorrow or Monday, they said.
Still a goal.
No, the books are coming. It's just not today, sorry. But I have these 2 cards, and how you can win them, I'll tell you in just a second. I'm going to give you these little things, and I would like for you to write down 3 things that you loved most about this workshop, attach your business card to it, and give them to me, and Alvin is going to draw. But I want you to do it too.
Okay. So Anna, you're going to close your eyes and draw?
Sarah.
Wow.
All right, come here.
Come on, folks.
Come here. You just won an emotional intelligence assessment card. Now you can look at your neighbors and say, let me see where they're standing. I know what your EQ is. Well, congratulations. Would you like to take a picture?
Yes, I'd love
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
So face Brian, close your eyes.
Brian, what?
Brian.
Why did you tell me to face Brian? Now you're gonna know everything about emotional intelligence. So we already won the 2 cards, and I guess if you guys have any questions, maybe you can ask me. I will stay for a few minutes, but other than that, thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure to be here. And you guys, oh, thank you so much. You guys are awesome audience.